I went to Honduras, another place I know, cause I was at the airport and the guy was like, I was like, I'm going to Honduras. He was like, what city? And I was like, I'm just learning right now that's not the name of the city. So, I don't know, dude. Just wherever other people are going, probably. Let's just go there and figure it out. We get to the base, and the guy, he's like telling us about Honduras, and he's like, you got to be careful. He was like, you got to really look out for snakes. There's a lot of venomous snakes here. So when you walk around, just keep an eye out. And he was like, now if you get bit by a snake, the best thing to do is then just go ahead and catch the snake and bring it so then we know like what snake bit you. I was like, dude, I'm pretty positive that's like exactly what you're not supposed to. Like, I've never seen that ever on Animal Planet. Like, somebody gets bit and then they got to be like, now I got to get it. I was like, I'm not going to do it. I was like, that doesn't make sense. I've never caught a snake in my life. And then when I got bit for the first time, I got to get it together and catch a snake. I was like, it's not going to go good, man. I was like, he's going to keep biting me. That's all that's going to happen. And he was like, it doesn't matter. Like, you've already been bit. And I was like, do you even know what a snake is? It completely matters. There's a huge difference between one bite and probably 30 bites. That's what we're going to be at if I try to catch this snake. Who told you this? The snake? Is that who told you to tell me all of this? Whose side are you on? And it's just a guy's house, and he has a bunch of snakes, lizards, and a crocodile just in his house. He has the world record for being bitten by a viper snake. It's 7 times, which is like, it's a record no one is trying to get. It's so many times. He was bitten 3 times, and then 4 more times after that. That's how many times he was bitten. 3's a ton, and then 4 more after is just too many. But I was like, I got to go see this. This is going to be amazing. So I go, I walk over, I walk in. Right when you walk in, he's got a lobby set up. And in the lobby, he has 2 parrots and then a bunch of anti-government posters. That's like a real, he just has those things. It's like 2 parrots and like a lot of stuff on chemtrails. You know, he's basically just like, this is what I would love to talk to you about. And you're like, I just want to see some snakes, man. He's like, all right, but maybe later could I corner you and talk to you about it? And you're like, I don't know, let's see how the snakes go. So I went and I paid. It was $9. Obviously cash only in a place like that. And so I give him my $9. I go up. First snake I see is a gaboon viper. It's a crazy venomous snake. And there's a story written out about how venomous it is. And the story was that these 2 kids broke into the Washington National Zoo in the early 1980s to steal a gaboon viper for whatever reason. So they get it, they put it in a trash bag. When they're walking out, they have the trash bag over their shoulder as if they forgot what they just did. The snake bites through the trash bag because it's a 1980s trash. It's not like a Glad one now, you know. This was like when trash bags were not doing good. So it bit the kid. The kid went into a coma for 4 days, and then it was like, that's all we know. We don't know what happened. And you're like, that's the whole reason I'm even reading this, to see what... Did he die? Is he stronger? Are you him? Like, what's the rest of the story? When you get there, go to the reviews. They have 4 stars to 1 stars. If you want to see what I'm talking about, I would start at the 1 stars. They're all pretty fun to read, though. You know, 4 stars love it. They think the place is great. 3 and 2 stars, they're usually pretty hung up on the propaganda in the lobby. They can't get past that. And then just go to the 1 star that says, crocodile got out of the cage. It's the best 1-star review I've ever heard in my life. Like, just the most, oh, did that poster hurt your feelings? Did a crocodile get out when you were there? Because he got out with us, and we didn't think he should have been out with us. So 1 star. When you say something dumb one-on-one, it's a lot for that person. I had it happen. I went on a hike with a comedian. So we're out there, we're trekking along, and it was a little chilly that day, so we walk by this turtle, and then there's a pond, and so the turtle jumps in the water. So right when the turtle jumped in the water, I was like, I bet when he got in that water, he was like, woo, it's cold today. Yeah, I don't know what I wanted out of that. And he was like, well, turtles are cold-blooded, so it probably just feels like bath water. And I had to say, okay. And the day was ruined. I mean, you don't just go back to having fun. Now it's weird. I haven't talked to him since that day, to be honest. Last thing I said to him was that day, and I just go, sorry about that turtle stuff. I've been to a dog bakery. I've been to a dog bakery in my life. And this wasn't in, Beverly Hills or like Miami or something. You feel like they would have something like that. And this was in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. And if you don't know where Mount Juliet is, it's fine. But I bet you can tell that doesn't sound like a town you would drive through going, I bet they have a pretty good dog bakery here. I went in there, and no one was in there. The lady was looking at me like, are you here to buy this store for me? That was her only hope. I talked to her. She had some time on her hand, excited to talk. And she said her and her husband bought the store for their 27-year-old daughter who graduated from college with a degree and came out of college and said, I want to own a dog bakery. I want to make cakes for dogs. Which if I asked my 6-year-old what she wants to do when she grows up, I think she'll tell me she wants to make cakes for dogs. And I'm going to tell her that she can do whatever she wants to do, hoping she doesn't turn 27 and go, let's talk about those cakes for those dogs. And maybe they're usually busy. Maybe I was on there on a slow dog birthday day. I don't know. All right? She told me everything was organic, and I was like, that's good. That's what I like to hear. All right? This is for that dog that's outside licking gum off the sidewalk right now. And if anybody deserves organic food in our house, it's not this little girl. I'm not going to waste it on her. It's for that dog that's wandered out in the highway because it doesn't know what cars are. We have a dog, and our dog freaks out when it thunders, and so we have sedatives to give her because there's only so many times you can tell a dog it's just thunder before you're like, she's not getting it, and you're like, just take this, all right? So I woke up, I had to wake my wife up, and I was like, hey, where are the sedatives at? And she was like, they're at the top of the cabinet. So I go get them. I looked at the bottle, and the bottle said they were expired. So I had to wake my wife back up, and I was like, hey, these say they're expired. And she was like annoyed. She was like, they're not expired, all right? They're new pills in an old pill bottle. And I was like, all right, I should have thought of that. That's my fault. I mean, we have people come to our house all the time and they get milk and they're like, is this milk expired? And I have to go, that's new milk in an old milk jug. Are you the stupidest person I've ever met? Why would you not assume that's what it is? That's roughly what I told her. It wasn't as fun as that. And then she goes all in and tells me it doesn't matter because dog medicine can't even expire. Which I was like, you've never even heard a rumor about that. You don't know that. We don't know any dog medicine people. I know who she knows. We don't know one dog medicine maker that's texting her like, hey, we're doing some pretty big things at the dog medicine factory. I wanted to let you know first, but we've invented medicine that can't expire. So feel free to tell your husband at 3 a.m. That's why I get nervous as I get older, because I am already not smart, and I'm in my prime right now. I don't read any books. I don't do it, and I think that matters. I do think that matters. Reading, I believe, is the key to smart. That's what I've always said, and I don't do it because every book is just the most words. It doesn't let up. I mean, every page is more work. It's like, what are you talking about there? Put some blank pages in there. Let me get my head above water for 2 seconds. I did. Thank you. It's been a reading joke. I want to learn more about history because I don't know anything. And so I'm trying to figure it out. And I can tell I don't know anything about history because every history movie I watch on the edge of my seat. What is going to happen? I don't know. I watched the movie Pearl Harbor, and I was as surprised as they were. Can't wait to get back to the old days of just not doing good inside a building. That's all you want, One of the last kind of bombs I had, I was doing it. So as comedians, we do a lot of corporate events, and I was doing this corporate event in Tampa, Florida. And it was for this guy. He ran Tampa's electricity or something. I don't know what anybody does. But he invented the electricity in Florida. So, yeah, he's doing real good. And he was a very nice guy. He's very generous. All his employees, he was raffling off 2 cars. He gave away a bunch of TVs, iPads. I mean, honestly, probably $100,000 worth of gifts he was giving back to his employees. Very nice. Well, I was one of these gifts that he was giving back. So in the middle of giving this stuff away, he stops and goes, all right, got a big surprise for you. Can't believe we got this guy to come here. And he brings me out. I mean, nobody's heard of me at all. I mean, they're all looking at it like, I think I could get this guy to come to my house. I mean, who is? I start doing my act. I do 1 hour and just 0 laughs. I mean, nothing. And I'm not doing new jokes. I'm doing the greatest hits. I told the iced coffee with milk story 3 times. I kept just doing it. I was like, all right, I'm going to do it one more time. I don't think y'all were listening. People were leaving. The guy that drove me asked someone that left, and he just goes, hey, is the comedy show almost over? And the guy goes, I don't even know what you're talking about. There's a guy giving a speech up there right now, so maybe after that. We get done, and then the guy comes up. You know, I have to talk to him. And I was like, look, I'm sorry, man. I used to be able to do comedy, and I lost it. You know, it's over. And he was very nice. He goes, no, it's all right. Nothing's your fault. And I was like, all right, I don't know how that's possible. And he goes, well, when you were up there, I remembered that most of my employees do not speak English. And I was like, all right, yeah, they'll do it, you know. Maybe don't hire an English-only speaking comedian. No heads up at all. Not that I could have changed it up, but it just would have been nice to know, you know. I remember nothing from school. People talk about history to me, and I'm like, I don't know when you guys learned that. I think we skipped all of this. I almost didn't graduate high school. I had an F in science. I was taking a class called science my senior year in high school. I mean, I had an F, and my dad went and talked to the teacher and just said, look, just give him a D. He's not going to do science stuff. And the teacher agreed to it. She was that confident I wouldn't touch the science world. We took ACTs, and I got a 17 on it. And if you don't know ACTs, I mean, 18 they're like, that's not good, man, but you made it. 17, they're like, are you enrolled in this school? Like, what are you doing? The only thing I remember is in 7th grade, we had a kid fist fight our PE teacher. That stuck with me. I mean, he was too old to be in 7th grade. He drove to 7th grade. If you're a 7th grade teacher and one of the kids drives, you just know you got to fight that kid one day. Like, I mean, it's just happening. Like, went to school in Tennessee, which was fun. I went to a community college for an entire year, and I do not have 1 credit. None of it counted. The reason is because I had to take remedial classes. Which remedial basically means they're like, look, we have no idea how your high school let you leave. And we are shocked, and we're actually going to look into it. But until the end, here's your classes you're going to take. Here's what I took. I took math. Like the book said math. Like, that's what... How crazy is that? They stopped calling it math after like 6th grade. I had to take reading. I took reading. I drove to that class. I drove to a reading class. I'm not even an immigrant. I am from here. I should have knocked that out years ago. And with reading, I think they were just impressed when you made it to the class. They were like, look who made it today, buddy. You're like, funny guys. When I moved to New York, though, what's funny is, like, New York acts like it's a big melting pot because it's like all the different cultures. Oh, we all melt together and everything. And then you move here and you realize, like, it's not a melting pot at all. It's actually a bunch of pots that want to live next to their own kinds of pots and not talk to other pots. My landlord is a Chinese pot, and she only hires, like, old Chinese dudes to fix her stuff. So, like, when they come over, like, they don't speak English, and, like, I'm not going to learn another language. I have barely knocked this one out, so when he fixes stuff, like, you gotta just hope he does the right thing, you know, because you can't tell him not. If he comes over and starts fixing the couch, you're like, all right, I guess that's what he's fixing today. I don't know why we would ask him to do that, but One day he came over and our gas heat broke, so he comes over to fix it, and I'm standing outside and I see him like, he's like downstairs, and you see like a fireball just explode like at him. So like it like lights it, he runs outside and you get like we're both standing there and you could just see that like we both wish we could talk to each other at that point. We're just like... I've been doing these drive-in shows, these drive-in movie theater shows, and my buddy Nick Novicki's been with me, and Nick's a little person, very fun. We started a comedy together. Nick's very fun to be friends with. He very easy to trick. We were once at a coffee shop, and a guy was sitting near us with a big husky dog, and Nick just goes, "Hey, you think that's a wolf?" And I just said, "Yeah, I do think it's a wolf." They just passed a law that if you can catch a wolf, you can have it as a pet. And he goes, "Should I go ask him about it?" I was like, absolutely, you know? He wants to talk about it. That's why he brought that wolf out here. And I watched him walk over to him and just go, "Excuse me, is that a wolf?" And the guy, he didn't really know how to answer it. He said, "What? You think I brought a wild wolf to this coffee shop?" And the wolf's just being cool about it? It's not losing its mind right now? When we were doing these driving shows, we were all on a bus together. I convinced Nick that I didn't know who Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding were. Nick is learning this, that I do know who they are. He's learning right now with you. I never told him. I absolutely know who they are. He brought all his references are just 90s sports references. He only can reference the 90s. And so he brings up Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding, and I was like, "Who's that?" He's like, "What? You don't know who they are?" And I was like, I don't think anybody knows who they are. A huge story. It was like figure skating is like a mafia hit. I was like, "I've never heard this, dude. Don't you think I would have heard it?" I was like, "No one knows this." He's like, he's losing his mind. I go, "They should make a 30 for 30 if it's that good." He goes, "They did." Another guy's like, "They should make a movie about it." He goes, "There's a movie!" And he's just losing it. One of my favorite ones was, this was forever ago. We're going to a friend's house, and it was a 4-flight walk up. And so we had to walk 4 flights. Obviously, I walk faster than Nick, and I used to wait for him, but we've just been friends too long. I can't. We're like an old married couple. I'm just gone. So I knew where we were going, and I knew that he did not. So I leave him. And I go into my buddy's apartment. I was like, "Nick doesn't know where you live." So that's fun, just see what happens. About 30 minutes go by. Nick finally comes into the apartment. And I asked him, I was like, "Where were you?" He goes, "I didn't know where to go." And I go, "I know." So, you've been gone for a long time. Did you go back outside? He goes, "Oh, no, I've been in someone else's apartment all this time." He went into he was just trying handles. And the door opened, he walked in, said, "I'm with Nate," and went and sat on their couch. That's how far he made it. Think about where your couch is. That's how deep he made it into their place. And he's so confident, they had to be like, "I don't know, maybe we know a Nate, When I was at the grocery store, I got caught in this weird thing with this dude. So I was standing in line, and I was behind this guy, this white guy, and he pulled out the white race card. Now, I don't know if y'all knew we had a card, but he had one. So I'm standing behind him, and I just hear him argue. I hear him just go "What is it? Because I'm white? Is that why you're doing this? Because I'm white?" And he looked at me like I'm his brother. "Hey, are you gonna get involved? Are you gonna come on?" I was sitting there. I was like, "No, I'm not getting involved in this. I'm not ready for something like this. I think you're the first guy ever to try this, to be honest with you. I'm not prepared at all. If you wanted me to help you, you should have pulled me aside earlier. You should have grabbed me "Look, I'm going to make history today. Do you want to be a part of this or not? It's your call." I was in San Francisco, and I bet there's a bunch of fun coffee places, and I live in my dumb world that I just want this one little drink. So I go into a Starbucks, and I get to the front, and I was like, "I'll take an iced coffee with cream." She goes, "With cream?" I go, "With cream." And then she goes, "Iced coffee with cream?" I go, "Iced coffee with cream." She goes, "With cream?" I go, "With cream." And she said it one more time. She said, "So iced coffee with cream?" And at that point, I should have said, "What's going on right now? Where are you at in your head? Because I feel like we're in two different places." But I was nervous, and there was people behind me, and I was like, cream or no cream? Honestly, I'll give you $20 if you let me leave right now. I cannot, this is the most I can talk about this. I don't even know what's happening anymore. So I paid. I go stand in line, you know, where you got to wait for your drink. There's like 5 of us waiting for our drinks. So she puts the iced coffee up there first, no cream. And I was like, whatever. I'll just do it myself, you know? Like, I don't like doing it myself, but I was like, all right, I'll just do it. So before I could get it, she's walked back with a can of whipped cream, and she's shaking it. And I'm just looking at it, like, thinking that's someone else's. I'm like, someone's getting whipped cream. That's fun. One of you guys are getting whipped cream? And I look down, and she starts spraying the whipped cream on top of my iced coffee. She just yells out, iced coffee, whipped cream, yells it out. The other 4 people, they turn their back, like they don't want you to accidentally think that's what they ordered. And I'm just left alone, like, that's what you thought I said over there? You don't think I would have said iced coffee with whipped cream? You think I'm just some nut job? It's like, I've had too many problems in this Starbucks, so I'm going to use the words that I want and no other words. Iced coffee, whipped cream cup. And they didn't have a top for it, so whipped cream, it doesn't sink and become less embarrassing. It moves. It's like a buoy in an ocean that everybody sees. And I'm just walking through the crowd like, this is my favorite drink. I don't know if you guys drink this at all. Does anybody? Nobody does this? I'm surprised. And I walked outside and threw it away and tried again at a different Starbucks. I was getting coffee, and I like iced coffee with milk. Nothing crazy. And I went to order it. You know when you order something and the guy looks at you weird, and you're like, I'm pretty sure he doesn't know what I just said. But you're both touching the credit card, so you're just too far into it, and you're like, all right, let's see what he thinks he heard. And I go to the end of the counter to get my drink, and he gives me milk with ice in it. I had to ask him, I was like, what is that? He's like, it's milk with ice in it. And I was like, do I look like a psycho to you, dude? I've never drank milk publicly in the history of my life. I've never once in my life been in public and thought, you know what I could go for right now? I'd like a cup of milk. I'd like a cup of milk. I'd like to drink it out of a clear cup so other adults know exactly what I'm drinking. And I was also wondering if you could put a straw in it. Something I haven't done in maybe 35 years. And I thought we should do that again right now. And I was wondering if you could put milk in it and ice. And then, you know, that's something that I don't know if you're allowed to do. But I would like to try that now in front of all these people that I've never met before. Yeah, the bad part about this is it's happened twice. All right? And the first time, that's a lot. That's a lot for it to happen. And the second time, you start looking at yourself. You start thinking like, I don't know if I know how to order. I'm not ordering correctly, I thought it was going to happen a third time. There was a third time, and she put the drink down. I was like, this is unbelievable. I was like, they're against me. But she just put too much milk into it. And she told me that. It was a very honest moment. She set it down. We're both looking at it. And she just was like, it feels like a lot of milk, doesn't it? And I was like, just looked at it. And I was, it's like, not as much as usual, but it does feel like a lot. We're at a Holiday Inn Express. So the breakfast buffet there is where they have the cereal where you turn the knob and 4 pieces fall out. It's like how you feed a cat for a long weekend, That's enough. They had batter and syrup. And so you pour they had the waffle iron where you make it yourself. So you pour the batter on the waffle iron, you shut it, you turn it over, it locks, it cooks for 2 minutes, you turn it over, you open it, half the waffle comes off, half stays forever. That's how you eat a waffle. So I'm with my buddy of mine that's my age. So we go through, he's in front of me, not really talking or anything, just going through. He gets to it, it's batter and syrup, they're in clear containers. They're not labeled, but they're in clear containers. He gets the syrup and starts pouring it on the waffle iron. And I'm not even stopping him because he's not doing it where he's going, I've never done that. He's doing it where we're probably going to try it after. I mean, he's just we're like, dude, I can't wait to see what this guy's making. He might know something that I don't know. He shuts it, turns it over, it cooks. He's looking at us. We're the whole line's yeah, what is that going to be? And it makes black smoke is what it makes. Dark black smoke. Just starts filling the lobby. The manager comes over. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, I guess I poured the wrong one. These are not labeled. And the guy's like, they're in clear containers. Do you not know the difference of batter and syrup? And he's like, I bet it happens all the time. He goes, I've worked here my whole life and I've never seen this. So they threw the waffle iron. They just throw it away. That's what they have to do. Just throw it away. It's over. And now there's no waffle. I mean, we went from all about to get a waffle to it's upside down in a trash can. And then he just turns and looks, and it's just a line of people with that little foam plate. And just everybody's sad. I just hear someone in the back go like, I set my alarm for this. I mean, two guys didn't have shoes on. They go, I ran down with no shoes in that elevator. I thought I was going to miss it. I mean, it's not good. He goes, let's go through like what you had for breakfast, or your whole day of eating. He goes, let's go through yesterday. And in my head, I'm like, well, yesterday's not a good day. You know, let's pick another day. He goes, go through yesterday. I go, all right. I had donuts in the morning. And he goes, all right. Was it like they were just out or something? I go, no, I drove to it. I drove to it, and he's like, is it on your way? I go, nope, I was late to where I was going because of it. He goes, what about late night snacking? And I was like, well, I had Sour Patch Kids last night. He goes, did you watch a movie? I go, no, just regular TV. And ate only, he's like, the little kid bag? I go, no, it was a bag. It was a bag of them. If you saw it without a label and someone said, hand me that bag, they wouldn't be confused on what you were asking. There's this new device you can buy for your car, and it's like a keyless device, and you press it, it's got a heartbeat detector on it. So you aim it at your car, you press it. If it flashes, that means like someone is in your car and they're going to kill you, all right? It's not going to be good. So you press it. If you want to buy it, it's like $550. If you do not have that money, you can do the old school route, which is just look in the window. It's either way, really. It's up to you. I told one guy that. He tried to tell me that was for like when people leave their babies in the car. Like, you know, like when you go out and you're like, I cannot remember if I brought my baby today. And I don't want to walk all the way back and check. Like, what if it's not there? If it's not there, I'm going to look like a jackass in front of my friends. I wish I could check secretly without everybody knowing. I'm 41 years old. And when I turned 40 was the first age I did not want to turn. I remember my parents turning 40. It just feels old. And it's also the age that you do realize everybody you're talking to, you are older than. Before you're 40, I think everybody you talk to is your age. And for some reason, when you turn 40, you're just older than that person. I'll just be talking to them like, remember that? It's like 97, 98. They go, I wasn't born yet. You're like, golly, are you serious, dude? In my eyes, we look the same. Where's your dad at? Let me talk to him, because I swear I thought you were my age. One thing I got when I hit my 40s was claustrophobia. Never had it. Actually got it here on the Simpsons ride, which is what's crazy. I mean, we're 100 yards away from where my life fell apart. I rode that ride with my daughter, and we're sitting on it, and we had another buddy, and he has his two girls on, and so we sit there, and they pull the bar down, and the bar, my leg gets stuck in the middle, and it just opened a door that I never knew was there. I mean, it's like a problem. I had to stop the ride. It's super embarrassing to stop a child's ride and just be like, I'm just waving. I'm like, I can't do it. And then they opened the bar and they go, all right, you can do it again. I was like, I'm out, dude. And no one got to ride it because I couldn't ride it. We all had to leave. Ruined it for everybody. And that's claustrophobia. It just kind of ruins everybody's time. It's what's funny, the panic of claustrophobia is pretty funny though. I mean, it's not funny when it's happening to you, but how quick you go from normal to just an insane person it's all at the same time. So it's all kind of new to me, so I forget I have it. And I'll put myself in a situation and I go, there it is. I got an Uber once with like 7 people. And so we get in, I'll get in the third row trying to be a good guy. And I climb in the back, they put all the seats up and it just starts hitting me. And I mean, I'm back there, you're like, just trying to be normal, you know, you're not talking. And then you just go, hey, you think you could roll the window down? You know what? Can everybody just get out of the van real fast? I mean, we're just driving down the interstate. Hey, could y'all crack the window? Do you mind if I drive the Uber? Do you think I could drive it? My wife and I, we met at Applebee's. And before I ever started comedy, I was a host and she was a server. And someone asked her recently, they said, hey, do you think, did you ever imagine when you started dating that your lives would become all that it's become? And she said, well, when I met him, he was a host, and I didn't think he was smart enough to be a server. So, yeah, we've got a little bit farther than I expected, you know? I told her I want to be a server one day, and she's like, you keep dreaming that dream, all right? I think if you try hard, you can get that menu memorized. So I'm the dreamer of our group. You know, I feel like in a marriage, you have one of you is a dreamer. You know, money's not real. Let's have fun. Let's go do fun stuff as much as we can. And the other person hates fun. And that's how you make a marriage. You can't have two dreamers. You're going to be homeless in an hour. You need someone that just walks around. Is fun happening? I'd like to put a stop to that. Are y'all having fun? Stop it. Is the air conditioner on? Turn it off. I married my dad, is who I married. My dad, who I thought air conditioning cost $100,000 a day to run it. When we would be on car rides, I thought if you turned it on, your car exploded. Like just gas, you were out. We're out immediately. Did someone turn the air conditioner on? My wife's always around, too. I feel just always like near, you know, especially about home. It's like I married a cat that I'm like, you just always on me. If I do if I go to the bathroom, she's like, I'm going to paint the bathroom door while you're in there. You couldn't do it later? No, I had all the time to do it. I thought I'd wait till you went in, and that's when I was going to start. If I eat something she doesn't approve of, she just pops up, man. I mean, I'll try to sneak it. I could eat an Oreo cookie in the attic at 3 a.m., and I would bet my life a light would cut on, and she'd be like, what are you doing up here? And if I questioned it, it was like, what are you doing up here? She's like, I'm always up here. This is when I do my attic stuff. She put Life 360 on my phone. That's so they can track you even when they're not near you. You might not even know you have it on your phone. It's worse than what the government's doing. I would rather the government track me than her. She just calls me, why are you at Krispy Kreme donuts? I'm like, look, I'm not going to live like this, all right? If I want donuts, I'm not going to lock my phone in a gym locker and go pay cash for donuts. I've done it, but I'm not going to do it every time. God forbid I go to a store she has a coupon for. I mean, I'll be walking into the parking lot just to get a call. Don't buy anything. I have a coupon. I'm like, do you think I'm going to come home and get that coupon? Is that what you think's about to happen? I'm going to try to pay more now that you called. I don't even know if Target allows that, but I'm going to try to negotiate up on this toothpaste. You better hope they don't ask me to round up. I'm rounding up. I hate coupons so much, and she's addicted to them. She will not let me leave. Like, I got a coupon. I'm like, I just feel so stupid. I'm buying deodorant, and I'm like, I don't have all the money, but I'm almost there. But I do have this coupon. One day, I hope to be able to pay full price. We are saving up as much as we can. Our daughter is in 3rd grade, and for 1st grade, she started taking the bus. And it was the first time she ever took the bus. So if you know as a parent, you walk them to the bus stop. It's very fun. And so we got her on the bus. She went to school. At the end of the school day, someone from the school called my cell phone. They have my wife's cell phone. They have my cell phone. They called my cell phone, and she said, hey, do you know what bus number your daughter's supposed to be on? And I said, I'm her dad. I said, are you crazy? I was like, this is how you thought you would get this information, was to call the dad? You saw a mom and dad's cell phone. You go, I bet the dad knows. I was like, do you have parents? Have you ever seen a family before? You thought, let's call the husband? Unless there's 2 husbands, you should never call a husband a day in your life. I would rather you ask a lady that doesn't know her. I think she could get to the bottom of it quicker than I can. I had to go get her. I go, all right, I'll come get her. Tell me the name of this school and I'll come get her. Where does she go? Homework's fun. 1st and 2nd grade was awesome. 3rd grade, you're like, okay. They throw some stuff in, you're like, oh, all right. All right. It's, okay. Learning it earlier than we used to, huh? I don't even know that's true, but... She brought home Common Core math. That's fun. It's a new math they invented. No heads up, just give it to parents that never learned it. It's just a whole new. I mean, it's unbelievable. Why when they bring it home, you go watch a 40-minute YouTube video on Common Core math. I don't even understand it. If you know it, if you don't know Common Core, it's just a new math. And the goal of Common Core is to use one sheet of paper for every problem. You just want to keep breaking the problem down. You put the problem at the top, and it just keeps going. And then what's even funnier is you see old math in the middle of it. As you break it down, old math gets in there, and you're like, oh, just do that at the top. I don't even know what we're doing. And it's not like old math isn't working. I mean, old math's doing, I don't get incorrect change everywhere just going, this stupid old math. It's a long way to get at the same answer. I told my wife, I go, it feels like if you knocked on my front door and I opened it, and you say, can I come in? And I was like, do you mind walking in and coming in through the back door? And you'd be like, does the front door not work? I'm like, nah, it works. I use it. A lot of people still use it. But the new way is to go jump the fence and come in the back and meet me at this same spot. Well, even though I make fun of Common Core, I have learned stuff from elementary homework, which is embarrassing. I'm 41. My daughter's 8. Nothing should ever come out of her mouth that I'm like, what? What was that? I learned when to use a or an in a sentence. I mean, I didn't know that there was a rule in play. I thought you felt it out, you know? You just go, that feels right, and that's what you do. I do the same thing with a comma. I never known where a comma's supposed to go. If I feel a comma's coming, I try to get out of that sentence so bad. I mean, and if I can, I just put a comma and see if someone says something, you know? If they're like, is that a comma? I'm like, isn't? My comma button has been sticking on my phone. I got to travel a lot, which is fun. I get to go, like, I go to, like, different countries, and I don't deserve to go. Like, I don't know where these countries are at. I just go. I didn't learn about any of it. Like, I learned about Tennessee. I learned about the states that touched us in case they attacked. And, yeah, and I was told the rest was Europe, and that's where all the gays live. So I didn't have a passport, you know? I was young. I got to go to Bahrain, which was fun. Someone's from Bahrain. Are you really from? It's crazy. I had no idea it was a country, I'll be honest with you. 3 years ago, I'd have called you a liar because you're from Bahrain. I literally thought it was the guy we were meeting. Like, that's what I just assumed. I just walked around Bahrain's airport like, hey, do you know this guy Bahrain? He's supposed to meet us here. Is he somewhere near here? When we went to Bahrain, we did comedy with the troops. I don't have like a huge following in Bahrain, but I could start though with the one guy right here. So it's one at a time. So we go over there, and when you do comedy with the troops, you stay on an army base, but in Bahrain you can actually leave the base and go to like the downtown Bahrain. So they tell you when you go out there, they're like, look, it's safe, just don't draw attention to yourself. So they're like, don't wear American t-shirts and stuff. And you're like, all right, that's fine, no American t-shirts. So what are you going to do about the white on my skin? That's probably going to be the issue if I don't want them to come up like, excuse me, are you Muslim? Southern Muslim, actually. I remember nothing from school. People talk about history to me, and I'm like, I don't know when you guys learned that. I think we skipped all of this. I almost didn't graduate high school. I had an F in science. I was taking a class called science my senior year in high school. I mean, I had an F, and my dad went and talked to the teacher and just said, look, just give him a D. He's not going to do science stuff. And the teacher agreed to it. She was that confident I wouldn't touch the science world. We took ACTs, and I got a 17 on it. And if you don't know ACTs, I mean, 18 is, they're like, that's not good, man, but you made it. 17, they're like, are you enrolled in this school? Like, what are you doing? The only thing I remember is in 7th grade, we had a kid fist fight our PE teacher. That stuck with me. I mean, he was too old to be in 7th grade. He drove to 7th grade. If you're a 7th grade teacher and one of the kids drives, you just know you got to fight that kid one day. Like, I mean, it's just happening. Like, guys are not good at marriage, all right? It's not our fault. We weren't prepared for it like women are. Your whole life is built just preparation for marriage. Look at every toy you played with. When you're a baby, they give you a baby doll. So they give you a baby when you're a baby. You don't even know you're alive yet, and they're like, look, I would probably start figuring this out. Like, this is where it's going. Then they give you Barbie and Ken. They live in a little house together, and that is where you learn how to make drama. You get the best. You're the best. Then you would play house. Like, you would, like, fake vacuum. Just fake vacuum with your friends. And that was awesome. And it's weird because, like, when I see my wife vacuum now, I'm like, she is living her childhood dream. She's made it. As a guy, we don't have any of that. What do we play fort? You got to keep everybody out of where you are, especially girls. The only toys we had were Transformers and Ninja Turtles. Those are not even real things. None of them had wives. They weren't married. I never played with my Ninja Turtles, and I had them going to fight Shredder. And then Michelangelo was like, hey, can y'all give me 2 seconds? My wife just showed up, and she looks furious about something. What do you want from me? And she's like, what are y'all doing? What's that April skank doing here? You're like, listen, she's a reporter. My wife and I, we got in the fight over the phrase one fell swoop. Just over this saying. And if you're a newlywed, you're like, well, that doesn't make sense. You're right, it doesn't. This is a double-digit married fight. This is when you've already done all the dish fighting or the putting your clothes away fighting. This is when they're trying to mentally break you. They got you almost how they want you, and this is the one that sends it over the edge. So my wife, she wanted to go visit her parents one weekend, and her parents are divorced, and which has been hardest on me, to be honest. That's something people don't talk about, you know? When you marry into divorce, I mean, they divorced because of her, not me, so why do I have to go to 50 different houses? She wanted to go visit her parents, and shit, I want to do it in one fell swoop. Now, I've never heard my wife say the phrase one fell swoop. We've been together 20 years, she's never said it. And it felt like someone that day told her, hey, you should start using one fell swoop more. And she goes, I'm about to call my husband, and goes, perfect, use it 40 to 50 times on him. So she calls me and she goes, I want to go visit my parents. And I want to do it in one fell swoop. And I go, all right, let's do it in one fell swoop. She goes, I want to do it in one fell swoop. I go, let's do it in one fell swoop. You know, let's swoop it up. I'm down. And she kept saying it, one fell swoop, one fell swoop. I mean, over and over again. And then when she went to describe this one fell swoop trip, she goes, we'll go to my mom's, come home, then go to my dad's. And so I just like waited, and she didn't say anything, and I just go, that's not what one fell swoop means. And instead of possibly just being wrong, she goes, I know what one fell swoop means. I go, yeah, it doesn't sound like you do, all right? And we have the same last name. I can't have you out there in a one fell swoop conversation. What do you think two birds, one stone mean? Let's just go through them all. I don't know if you know any of these. She hangs up on me. So I get home, and you know when you walk home when you've been in a fight, and you're like, all right, how long is this fight? Is it happening still? Is it over? I don't know. I got to fill it out, you know? She never uses words like sorry. I'd love to hear that. I mean, that's a word she definitely doesn't know what it means. And I say it all the time. I walk around the house with just a sack of sorries, just handing them out all day. I try to give her some, like, would you like to carry some of these? She's like, I don't have pockets, so I'm good. We didn't talk that whole night. I mean, we're just sitting there, our daughters, like, we're watching TV, eating, and I'm like, hey, you know your mom's crazy, right? And then she's like, did you do your homework, or you don't want to be dumb like your dad? And then your daughter's just like, are y'all lunatics? So I'm laying on the couch, and my wife just came over, and she kisses me goodnight, and then she went to bed. And that was it, you know? That was like, I felt like it was her sorry, I guess. But she didn't say it. And so I was like laid there, and I'm just thinking about it. And you think about it a lot, because you're like, all right. Because you learn the longer you get married, sometimes it's like, just let stuff go. You know, who cares? And the next morning I get up, and I kind of still wanted to talk about it. Because we didn't talk all night, you know? So I went into her, I was like, look, I got to tell you, I mean, it's just not what it means, you know? That got it going real good. But I felt so good about this argument, you know? I thought about it all night. I was like, you got this one in the bag, man. You should bring it back up. I'm not trying to date her anymore. I'd like to win a fight. We're going to die together. I almost woke her up in her sleep. That's how much I was so excited. I almost just started shaking her going, it's not what it means. Our marriage almost ended in one fell swoop. So people always talk to me very easy too, or dumb. Like if I talk to a stranger, I can always feel it. And I think it's my eyes. I have big eyes, you know? And so I just get a lot of like, you still with me, man? And I'm just sitting there like, yeah, man, I'm listening. He goes, all right, I don't know, felt like you could have been anywhere, you know? I got a reversible jacket at home, and I have 2 of them because I didn't know it was reversible. Bought them at the same time. Tried them both on separately. Liked the black one, thought might as well get the blue one too. Went and laid them up there, and I remember they go, are you sure? I go, yeah, I think I know what I'm doing here, right? The dumbest I've ever been talked to, I like to golf, and so a guy was telling me there's a real golf course in North Carolina where they have llamas are the caddies. So if you don't know anything about golf, I mean, you know, a caddy usually carries your bag around, tells you how far you are from the hole, and helps you out. So this course, they have llamas. So you put your golf bag on a llama, and it carries your bag. So he told me that, and then he looks into my big, dumb eyes, and he goes, just so you know, llamas can't talk, though. I mean, that's the question he was trying to get ahead of, as he looked into my stupid eyes. Like, he's like, I'm going to say it so that guy doesn't have to say it. Like, I'm just at the zoo talking to the giraffes, just, hey, where are you guys from, you know? I know where you're from, but where are you from? You know what I mean? Once I was checking a bag, and the guy by the counter, he sees my ticket says Nathan, the license says Nathaniel, and he was like, this is not good. He goes, these names don't match. And I was like, but they match, right? Like, you can see the leap that we took to get from one to the other. And he was like, but they're not the same. I was like, but they're the same. And I'm realizing he cannot find out people call me Nate at that point because, I mean, he can't handle that. He's going to call the police over to be like, there's a guy with 3 names trying to fly right here. If you guys want to just shoot him from over there or something. So I was like, what do you want me to do? And he goes, you should go home. That's all I got. Honestly said, I can't believe you've made it this far. I was like, let me just try it, you know? Shouldn't I try it? I said, look, I'll give you that those names don't match. But what I think is going to help a ton is the picture on the ID. Something that I've always loved that they did. And I think with 70% of that name matching and 100% face, it's 170%. I think I'll get through. And this is what he told me. This is honestly what he said. He goes, look, man, I get it. All right. He's trying to relate to me. And he was like, my name's Joseph. That's what's on my license. So I can't buy a ticket under my nickname Bart. They're not going to let me pay. And he said it like, right? Like, do you know what, does that make sense? And I was like, that doesn't at all. Those are 2 different names. All right. I should be over there and you should be over here because that's how you're treated. I just think you got to say it. Like, the world is so future now, and I feel in the way of it. Hotels are futuristic. Like, you go, like, you take a shower, the shower's enclosed, but now a lot of hotels have half a glass, and water gets on the floor, and that's the future. That's what the future. That's what they want, and you know. I would like a whole glass. They do have a glass because I'm still alive, so they're like, they don't want to hear me going, where's the glass at? So they do half a glass, and then the future, the floors are always wet. Every floor. I mean, I think I'm 44. My daughter's 11. When she's my age, it will be 2057. I don't even believe that's a real year. My movies didn't go that high in fake years. How am I going to talk to someone from 2057? I have more in common with a pilgrim. I saw too much old-timey stuff. I'm pre-internet. I mean, we go to a county fair, Wilson County Fair, and this is in Tennessee, if you're wondering. And we would go there. Fairs, I don't know how they're still open, but I don't think the government knows about them. I don't know. We ride these rides that were on the interstate an hour ago. So my dad is a magician, if you don't know, and we would go watch him perform. This is the 80s. So we'd go watch him. My dad's doing magic. Right next to him, they had donkeys jumping off a high dive into a pool. So pretty tough to keep people's attention when my dad is like, is this your card? And everybody's like, hold on, this donkey's about to jump off this high dive. That's something you don't think you want to see until it's up there. And I use the word jump very loosely. Yeah, these donkeys are falling off this high dive, but can't put that on the sign, you know. You gonna watch a donkey fall off a high dive? You're like, no. What if he jumped? Well, at least he's into it. Just so you know, PETA shut that down. And, yeah. And that was one everybody was like, we get that one. There's another one PETA had to shut down. So this is also in the 80s. Pre-internet. You could fight an orangutan. You could fist fight an orangutan. This was offered. We didn't have a lot going on. This is what we had to do. And so orangutan would be in a boxing ring with boxing gloves on, and it would stand like this. And then a guy would pay $5. It wasn't for free. You would pay, and then he'd go in there, and this orangutan would just knock this dude out. Because we didn't have the internet to look up how strong's an orangutan. So, yeah, it was, you know, it was all word of mouth back then. You had to meet a guy that just fought an orangutan. And you're like, are they strong? You're like, yeah, dude. Like, but the arms are skinny. I know. That's what I thought as well. That strength comes from somewhere. I've never been called a millennial or Generation X. I've never even really heard any of those terms growing up. And now you hear them all the time. So I looked it up to try to see. I was like, what am I? And I'm technically nothing. I'm on a cusp. I'm a generation gap. And what we are called Zennials, or we're called the Oregon Trail generation, or we are called, my favorite name is the Lucky Ones. And it's true, we're very lucky. We actually grew up in two different worlds. When I was a kid, I grew up like it was the 50s. Like you would go outside and your parents just didn't know where you were. We went to school and played Oregon Trail on a computer at school. No one had a computer at home. It's like, what are you, a zillionaire? Like, I mean, you could. But then in high school, I had AOL. You know, we had a computer at home. Then I got a beeper. And then I got a cell phone. I didn't have social media until I was 26 with MySpace. You know, I mean, social media, like, whatever I did in high school is a rumor. It can't ruin my life. So if you're around my age, you might realize, like, you just end up always kind of being in the middle. Like, I understand when a Gen Xer says something, you're like, I get it. And millennial says something, you're like, no, I get it. You always just feel in the middle. And these groups all hate each other. And the most I've ever felt where I was in the middle was just this one hotel that I stayed at. So a lot of hotels now, they have Chromecast, and you can watch like Netflix in your hotel room. So I get in my room, and I turn it on, and my Chromecast is not working. So I call down to the front desk, and the oldest voice I ever heard answered the phone. This guy was a Civil War survivor. I mean, he was the age where you just go, thank you for your service. And it's like, was in the Army? You're like, probably, man. I mean, there's an age where like they all had to go at that age, so just say it. So I tell him, I go, hey, my Chromecast is not working. And I could have just made up a word. I mean, he's never heard of that. I could have said, my beatbot broke. I mean, he asked if I was staying at that hotel. That's how he goes, are you staying here? I was like, do you think I've called the front desk from a different hotel room? He goes, look, I don't know what this is, but there's a younger guy here. I'm going to send him up. He'll be able to help you. And I was like, great. So that guy comes up, and he knocks on my door. I open it. He's my dad's age. And I mean, right when I see him, you're like, all right, dude, we don't have to do this. You know, I mean, I know you've heard of it, but if I can't fix it, you're not going to be able to fix it. But he's the generation that still wants to give it a try. So I got to let him in. So he comes in my room, sits on my bed, a little too far back, I thought. I just remember like the back of his calves were touching the bed. And I was like, are your feet dangling? How far back are you going to go? Are you cold? Do you want some covers, man? He gets the remote and just starts pressing all the buttons. And I said, I don't know if that's going to do it. And he goes, let's just keep trying it, though. I go, all right. I'm going to turn the shower on, open a window, let's try everything. You know, let's just see, maybe it turns on. Who knows? Maybe it's all connected. So we can't get it. And he goes, all right. He goes, there's a younger guy. He's about to come to work. And at this point, I'm like, I'm the younger guy, man. I was like, it's all right, dude. I don't need it. And he goes, no, it's a millennial. And I was like, all right, now we're getting somewhere, you know? This is what the millennial does. He was born with technology. He's going to know how to fix this. I was excited. I was like, great. He goes, he comes to work in an hour. I go, wonderful. And let me tell you, you know how quick that millennial fixed it? Well, I'll never know because he just didn't come to work that night. So, and I found out because the old guy called me because he was supposed to fill in for him. He was furious, dude. Like, he hates that millennial. He goes, he never comes to work. He doesn't take it serious. He's got a peanut allergy. And I was like, all right, well, I ended up fixing it myself because it was just unplugged. So that's my fault.